Welcome back to Living Local. You may be surprised by how important hummingbirds are to our ecosystem. About 75% of the world's flowers rely on insects, bats, and birds for pollination, and hummingbirds play a big role in that. Joining me in studio, we have Gemma Flick with Teske Pet and Garden. Gemma, thanks so much for being here.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
So for people who aren't familiar, what is Teske Pet and Garden?
Actually, we are having our 97th year anniversary sale this weekend. We've been around for many generations. We are pets and gardens.
Right, so right in the name, no confusion there, and have been a staple in the Quad Cities for many, many years. Now, what prompted you guys to host the upcoming Hummingbird Class?
Well, primarily, I just love them. I mean, what's not to love? As a specialty store, we provide value added. We are there for guidance. That's always been our philosophy, and we've done it. We've studied it. We've listened to people who have solved problems, and so we share that information.
That's great that you not only provide the products clearly, but also the guidance to go along with that. I think that's so important. So let's get into hummingbirds. So what kind of role do they play in our ecosystem?
They are a keystone species. They pollinate on their journey back and forth. They pollinate many flowers that continue to grow so that invasive species don't take over the landscape and create other environmental problems.
So Gemma, how would someone get hummingbirds into their yard?
There's one other thing I should have said.
Yeah.
We have a picture here of the Carolina parrot. At one point, it was the only parrot in the United States. They were so plentiful that the farmers shot them in the fields. People trapped them and ate them, and they killed every last one.
Wow.
They have been extinct since 1918. So Rhonda Brady does our butterfly talk, and as she says, if you care about it, do something about it. So that's really motivation to take care of what's out there.
Right, that is a huge driving force because we don't want that to happen, what happened to the parrot, to our hummingbirds.
That is correct. So you're going to want to provide food for the entire season, okay, from spring through fall. So there are different methods to do that. Annuals are really important, perennials are important, and tropicals, and there are some unusual plants specifically there. You can supplement it with feeders, provide nesting material, and perches are very important. Hummingbirds spend about 80% of their time perched, sitting. They can't really walk. They use their feet to grab onto something. And I've often seen people with a hummingbird feeder in the middle of the yard in the sunny spot, nothing around it. That's not what the hummingbirds want. They want to be able to be above their food guarding it.
Got it. So you get them some delicious snacks, and you got the nesting and the perch. Any other things to keep them coming to the yard?
Yes, well, there are some, you need to avoid hazards, okay? If you are gardening for hummingbirds or butterflies, you don't want to use any kind of insecticides because it will be harmful to them. Please, if you don't need it, close your garage door, okay? Hummingbirds will, and it happens in the greenhouses every year, hummingbirds fly into the greenhouse and their natural instinct is to fly straight up, and they can't go back down and out the door. Okay, so we end up with nets and rescuing them. But close your garage door if you're not using it. And keep your cats inside. Spiders are, hummingbirds have a really strange relationship with spiders. They will eat small spiders. They will use the silk from the spider web to build their nest, but large spiders will eat them.
Okay, so there's just a different array. You got to make sure that the bigger spiders are kind of at bay.
I was looked out my back door one day last summer, and the big spiders make their nests very quickly. There was this big spider web with a beautiful monarch butterfly in it, and this big spider racing toward the monarch. I got there first. The monarch flew away, and boy, was that spider mad at me.
Oh, I'm sure. You are the hummingbird savior. I love that. Okay, so that's what hummingbirds need to come to the yard. So what do they need when it's time to leave?
Again, lots of food. The males will arrive first anywhere between April 23rd and May 5th. The females will arrive a week to 2 weeks later. I think this Gardenmeister fuchsia is an aphrodisiac.
Okay.
I have often seen the male courting the female right above the Gardenmeister, and he swoops back and forth to court her.
The plant of love.
Let's see, they eat a lot then. Oh dear, bleeding heart. Bleeding hearts are very good in the spring. That helps. They have to replenish their energy because they've had this long journey. Then in June, she builds her nest and sits on her eggs. So you may not see as many because you can't see her around. Okay, you can tell him by his red throat and his pointed tail. She has a flat tail with white on the tip.
Okay.
So you can easily spot her. You won't see her as much. She's eating more bugs than nectar. Then in July, the babies come out of the nest. Then you have a whole bunch. So you want your garden to really be in peak bloom at that time. Bee balm monarda is very popular. Daylilies, lilies, that sort of thing. Then in the fall, oh, and the chives are so funny. In the spring, you wouldn't think chives would be popular, but they put up great blossoms. Then in August, the males leave first, and the mom and the babies are building up strength, so they need lots to eat. You can supplement with the feeders, with the nectar. The best one I'm devoted to, but if you use sugar, be sure you use cane sugar.
Okay, cane. Keep it natural.
It has to say cane. If it doesn't say cane, it's beet sugar.
Okay.
And all beet sugar has been genetically modified at this point.
So cane sugar. All right, Gemma, you clearly have done tons of research on this. I never imagined I would know so much about hummingbirds. This is wonderful. So if people want to learn more and have your guidance, how can they register for the class?
They can call or they can log on to our website and email.
Sounds great. Gemma, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you.
All right, for more information, you can visit TeskePetandGarden.com. We'll also have more details posted on ourquadcities.com. More Living Local continues after this. Stay with us.